I've got one more solar panel for the roof, which is just like the final solar panel to fill the roof space, the available space on the roof. And it's like a single panel, which according to Bimble it can't be fitted as part of an array. And so I mean, when we say an array, we mean it has to be on its own and have its own controller, so you can't add it to the existing configuration of panels. It's its own sort of boss, as it were. So let's have a look. Here it is. It's a 110 watt flexible solar panel, and that cost 255 quid, including VAT from Bimble. It came with up to here with its connectors and all the rest, so the rest of it I've had to do myself. So this is a connecting MC5 cables, MC5 connectors, and they lead down to this, which was just a controller I had hanging around really. That's a Renogy Wanderer controller, and then we have it going down here to a junction box. So this is coming from the battery, so it goes down under the decks there and it connects to the battery bank. And all I'm doing today is I'm just rigging it up and making sure that it works electrically, and then after I've made sure it works, I'm just going to stick it to the roof. Right, well, it's New Year's Eve 2022 and it's taken me a long time to sort these panels out, and this is the final one. As you can see, the one closest to me is the final solar panel for the roof, which is the last one which I can practically fit on the roof. It is a 110 watt Sunpower flexible solar panel, and to glue it to the roof I've had to use CT1, which is like a black sort of industrial grade sealant and adhesive. And what I made a sort of a pattern, which was a kind of a lattice pattern across the corners. So it was kind of going like this and like that and like that and like that diagonally, and then it was lines. So it was lines and then a lattice shape across it, and left it overnight. And now it's the morning after, so it's all sealed up I'm quite happy with the way it's sealed. It's very flat. There's no bubbles. There's no unevenness on the finish. So I'm quite happy with that. Once the panel was fitted to the roof, the panel then needs to be wired through the controller and to the battery. And there's two stages to do this. The first stage is to do the work in the engine room. So you've got the batteries are all in the engine room in a buzz bar, sort of connected through the buzz bars. So you've got that's one aspect, and once you've got the other aspect, which is the solar panel to the controller. So there's that aspect as well. All the cabling from the engine room comes through this fuse box. I will get another fuse, which will be like the ones in there, and hopefully there's enough space for one more in there. So yeah, all the cabling comes out of there, so I had to run the cabling out and then I've put it underneath the step. So you've got the cabin in one side and then you've got the engine room, which is separated by a big steel bulkhead. So there's a big steel wall behind this. You can't just pass it out anywhere. There's only a very small hole. The hole's probably about 2 inches, and all the cabling has to come through this hole which is behind this fuse box. And that's what I did first of all. I just took the I suppose there's two terminals from the batteries, and then I've run them through the engine room to the hole here, and then I've run them under the step here, and I've put some connectors on them. Here we've got the cable in it. It's come from the roof, and this is a very it's an interim thing. I'm not going to run them through cause at the moment they're going through the hatch, which is not a sustainable way to have them. They need to be fixed properly, but at the moment I'm just getting the power off the panel because I need it. Basically there's not a lot of energy going off, and I need to use the panel to boost my power supply. So it's not as if I don't need to use the electric, I do. So at the moment all we've got is we've basically got the engine room. It comes up here, so that's the live battery supply, and then you've got this Renogy, which is quite a good controller. It's got its own controller, one panel per controller, which is nice because it gives it a little bit of a boost. The more independent sort of setups you have with your solar panel array that work independent of each other, the more sort of dynamic your power supply is going to be. So I'm quite happy to have a, just an extra panel and an extra controller. That's no big thing. And now it's working. You can see it's cycling through the sort of the display outputs. It's not 0.2 amps is very little. It's a tiny amount. Batteries are at 12.2, as you can see, and then it's cycling through the different sorts of arrays that it has on this controller. In due course I'm going to put one of these cable terminals, which it takes it down through the roof, and it basically means it's a water and weatherproof way of making it an entry point into the steel cabin. When I've done that, the cabling will come in through I think you can see the two cables coming in through my wardrobe there, and all I'm going to do is exactly the same but a bit further back here, and then I'll run them out through this side, and they'll go up into the controller. So it'll be a watertight seal into the cabin, and then they'll be run through the side here, and then that'll be the job finished. I stuck the panel down about 10 days ago at my last stop. So we'll look at, I just stuck it down when it was a reasonable day, and I think I did that in the last video, or the same video. So I've just taken it along here, but I've been running it in through this cable's been going in through the hatch, which is there. It's just been going underneath the hatch, which is not the way it's supposed to be. I mean, so today I've just spent putting some holes in the roof. I've got let me show you. I've got one of these, which is a router into it's like that one but a bit smaller, and for the last hour or so, maybe a bit less, I've just been drilling these holes in the roof, which is hardened steel. The best way to drill holes in hardened steel is to start with it's a small, like 4mm. These are 6mm holes, so I started and just sort of stepped up. If you try and drill, I tried to do before in the past, you need to drill hardened steel the easiest way possible, because it does take a long time. So I've been doing that today, and it looks like this is ready. I mean, I've got this which will go on there, and then we're just going to put the wires so it goes straight through the roof now. Right, well, I've put the cables early going to the controller there, and I've run them in through that's just the ceiling of the wardrobe, and we just brought them down a little bit, and they're going through the side there to the controller. They were quite tough to get through the roof because they were 5mm, which I forgot. I thought they were 4, but they weren't. They're 5. So I had to get some of this olive oil spray, and smear it on the cables, and it went in, you know, just a little bit for a little bit of gentle persuasion, and then they went in. So yeah, there you go, and then the cable's running down to the entry gland. So the final thing I need to do is really just to glue the entry gland with the industrial glue onto the roof. Okay, so I've loosened these glands themselves so that they can the cable still move it around a little bit. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to get this the old CT1 industrial adhesive. I'm just going to put it all the way around that little rim thing, right the way around, put plenty in there, and I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to put something heavy on it once it's flush against the roof, and then I'm going to leave it overnight. So there we go. I'm just running through the there you can see they come through the wardrobe, and I'm just going to put some tape on the red one and run through this. As you can see, that's all done now. We've got it coming through the side wall of the hatch entrance. It's all wired up as it should be, working as it should. The only other thing I need to do is just to get this fuse for the just the battery supply, just to make it a little bit more safe, I guess. But that's it. I mean, if we have a look, there we go, little gland nicely glued to the roof, cabling's running down, got the panel there, and there we go, nice bright sunshine.